Hello and welcome to Exceptional Living. I'm your host, April Ripley, and I'm so glad that you joined me for this exciting episode. Here at Exceptional Living, our purpose is to inform, inspire, and to ignite the greatness that lies in you. So we offer life-changing concepts, strategic insights, tactics, tools from local and global leaders, experts, innovators, and creatives, what we like to call change agents, to equip and empower you for credible influence, distinguishable competency, and indelible impact. In a world where one is conditioned to fit in, know that you, yes, you, were created to stand out, to be exceptional, and to live a life unique by design. So, welcome to Exceptional Living. I am excited about our guest today. Oh my goodness. And wish that I was there in Jamaica where our guests come from. But we're excited today to have Rondell and Lotoya Allen from the beautiful island of Jamaica. Let's talk about our special guest today. Lotoya Allen is Managing Director for RPMI. She's an educator and a mentor. She's an award-winning educator for over 2 decades. She believes in educating the entire man and woman. She has worked in several spheres of education, from classroom teacher to administrator to mentor to planner to executive. You name it, she's done it. She's managing director of Rondell Positive Movement International Limited, a company that plans, executes school tours, events, offers consultancy, and manages international recording artists, Rondell Positive. In 2015, Lotoya was awarded the Carlong Excellent Teachers Award and named among Jamaica's top 100 teachers. Wow. She is also the recipient of several Principals Awards. Her latest initiatives see her as producer of the television show Mirror Purpose Experience and co-conceptualizer of the National Mentorship Program. She is married to international recording artist Rondell Positive, and they parent 3 beautiful daughters, Janari, Leanne, and Rain. Beautiful, and I've seen them, absolutely gorgeous. Yes, I think they get it from their mama. I know their dad had something to do with it too. But let's talk about their dad, Rondell Positive, being mentored by some of the greats, the late Dr. Miles Monroe, Doctors Peter and Patricia Morgan, and Dr. Dave Burrows, just to name a few. Rondell Allen, aka Rondell Positive, man of purpose, the mirror boss, is not only one of Jamaica's most sought after inspirational artists, but an avid speaker, kingdom teacher, purpose activator, youth advocate, mentor, and philanthropist. All of this has led to his influence in the next generation and landed him his own TV show, Mirror Purpose Experience, on television Jamaica. He is married to Lotoya, who I just introduced. He is a kingdom influencer and has led to the government of Jamaica, employing Rondell's services as consultant to the Ministry of National Security and the Ministry of Education and Youth. Talk about influence. He is intentional in his music, his teachings, and his events, and he believes that all things were created on purpose by a God of purpose for a purpose. Hence his moniker, I am purpose. Purpose lives here. And this bracelet right here that I have says here on purpose. Ha! He's received the Male Gospel Artist of the Year 2019, multiple Caribbean Music Awards winner, being the youngest Jamaican gospel artist to be awarded the Jamaica Reggae Industry Association Iconic Honor Award. Rondell performed several times at the request of the Office of the Prime Minister of Jamaica, for different Prime Ministers of Jamaica, and most recently the 2019 Prime Minister's National Youth Award. He is specially requested by world and Olympic 100-meter and 200-meter champion Shelley Ann Fraser-Price to perform at the unveiling of her statue, and again in 2020. Rondell Positive and his music have impacted private sector, several ministries of government, education, national security, health, culture, sports, gender, and entertainment. He has shared the stage with some of the world's greatest performers, including Pastor Donnie McClurkin, Tasha Cobbs Leonard, Kirk Franklin, Papa San, Travis Green, and Israel Halton, just to name a few. Rondell and his wife have founded Rondell Positive Movement International Limited, a recording and events planning company, and Y Leap Global, Youth Leaders Entrepreneurship Advancement Program. Rondell and Toya have formulated national school tours and Men of Purpose events. And in 2020, Rondell and his team were called by the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information to create a response that would help students adjust their mindset to dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Exceptional Living, Rondell Positive and Lotoya Allen.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We are truly honored to have you. Whew. All of this, you see, so Exceptional Living audience, you see the persons that come to the show. These are movers, shakers, influence makers. And we like to say legacy builders and destiny drivers. They are catalysts of change, not just in their communities and nations, but literally around the world. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So you know our show is all about exceptional living. So what does exceptional living mean to you?
Should I go first?
Whichever one.
Okay. Thank you for having us. It's indeed a pleasure to be here and to share with you and your audience. So exceptional living. For me, it's basically just living a life that is not normal or doing things in a way that is not the normal way or what is expected. It's basically just enjoying and working in a spirit of excellence.
I mean, I couldn't speak of exceptional living without using my favorite word. It is really living a life that is beyond the world's standards. Living purposefully, finding that purpose, a life of vision, a life of getting intertwined with the potential that you carry. And so for me, exceptional living is basically making statements like living on purpose, for purpose, with purpose, because you're made to deliver a specific purpose.
Somehow I knew that word purpose was going to come out. we're talking to yes, to the man of purpose. So just a little bit, because people are probably wondering, how did you meet this dynamic couple from Jamaica? You probably remember this, Rondell. We were in the Bahamas of all places, right? For Kingdom Summit there at the Miles E. Monroe Diplomat Center at Bahamas Faith Ministries, and you were called up one night to do the selection. So this is a group of persons literally from around the world that were there to learn about how to impact their community, their nations, in different spheres of influence. So everything was kind of cool, and then all of a sudden this fire came on stage, Lotoya, and everybody's like, where did he come from? And that's how we met at that conference, and we just we chatted, and he talked about what he was doing in Jamaica, and especially with the youth. And it was 2019, actually October. I had the honor of being in Jamaica for, as we call her affectionately, Mom Morgan's 80th birthday. Yes. And I said, I cannot just come to Jamaica to party and celebrate. Right. Let's do some work. And I was graciously hosted by Rondell and Lotoya to see the work and the impact that they were having there in Jamaica in the school system. And I went to one of the schools that they work with there, and to hear not just the teachers and administrators talk about, how their work has impacted their lives, but to hear the youth talk about it and to say, when are you coming back? There's that they want to come back. And we all know youth sometimes are like, okay, but to have them say, we want to come back and yes, they're making an impact. And so, not only do I see you both working together, and this is what I found was powerful is, sometimes you just see one and maybe the other, but it is possible to have power couples purpose couples that are doing some great things. And so, that's really what I brought the two of you together to see that it is possible to work together. And maybe you could share with us a little bit about your journey to working together. And you both came from education. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So I actually said to her before we started this that actually you are such a blessed person, because this is the first time we're doing something of this nature together.
Yes.
It would be somewhere I'm doing something or somewhere she's doing something, But I mean, we came together. I think we met in college. I think you were like 2 years ahead of me in college.
Yes.
So she was 2 years ahead of me in college. And so she actually left college, and but we just met. It wasn't
just platonic.
It was platonic.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we had a relationship then. We met. A friend of mine introduced me to her, and a couple of years later we met again, and we began dating, and I guess purpose brought us together. I'd say purpose brought us together, and we've been doing purpose since then for close to 20 years now.
Yes.
Close to 20 years.
Wow. So I love that purpose brought us together. So, it's kind of interesting that she was kind of leaving, but somehow the connection that you both had in education, it just all came back around, right? So would you say that what's purpose for you really kind of comes to you?
So in a sense, because when I look back at my life, my mother actually forced me into teachers' college. She actually decided that I was finished with high school. I didn't know what I was going to do. And she decided that you're not staying home, you're going to college. Mm-hmm. So I went to college. I went to college and I finished college. And a matter of fact, so that the second time we met was her helping me to get a job at the school that she was working.
So we both worked at the same school.
Wow.
So, that was something, because then again, we met up again. And now we got married.
Before we got married, as I said, purpose called, because remember we were employed to a school that really lacked a lot of resources and stuff. And when I got the job, I said to a couple of them who were the young people at the time, we were the young ones, and I said to them, we have to do something for the school. And so we actually came together and we started a movement in the school and started doing a lot of events and stuff. So even the whole event planning
came out of
that.
Of our job. Yes.
So and we later started dating and we got married, and the rest of it is history.
History making. Yes, I love it. The rest of it is history and herstory making. Yes. So, it's interesting you say that, because, had your mom not said you're going to college, you would not have really met Toya, right? Yes, because sometimes it's being willing, or even if not so willing, but kind of being obedient. Maybe in Rondell's case, it was just being obedient.
Yes.
To say, I'm going to go, and not really knowing what could be beyond. And, it's interesting, because I know there's probably some message boiling up inside the both of you on that, right? It is that sometimes our obedience is not that we have to know what's in front of us. Mm-hmm. It is recognizing our trust and faith in God to say, okay, if he's telling me to go here to do this, I trust him, because he's always got he always has our best interest in mind. And you just don't know. You just don't know. People, and I can say this for myself by saying, people say, well, how did you get involved into all these global, you're like international relations, global blah blah blah. And I said, you know what? I just said yes. You know, I was having lunch with Ambassador Andrew Young once, and I said, how did you get from, you know, small town to the first African American UN ambassador from the United States and all these things working with Dr. King? And he said, I just said yes. And sometimes, you know, we can have plans and goals and things like that, but sometimes it's just being open to say yes. And that's what happened. I heard Dr. Moreau speak at some conferences. Actually, here in Atlanta, Morehouse College was the one I really remember standing out. And he says, oh, you got to come to the Bahamas to my Kingdom Summit, all these things. I'm like, okay. And I had no idea that it would lead me to where I am. Yeah. But had I not been where I am, I would not have met Rondell and Toya. Yes. Right? So again, God knows all. He knows what the future holds. And it's really a lot of our own faith and obedience that leads us down this path.
Yes. So purpose actually begins with saying yes. Just
say yes. Just say yes. Ron, he's got a song coming. I almost see that. Just say yes. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. But talk to us a little bit, Rondell. You have a song, the Mirror song, that you wrote, and Shunammite. Talk to us about those two, because I tell you, yeah, I'm not going to give it away. You take it away.
So let's talk about the Mirror. I mean, the Mirror is a song that took 10 years to be written.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's like saying, again, it comes from saying yes, because I started getting that song out of an opportunity that I was given to speak to some 6th grade students. And I was basically reasoning with God, and I was saying, what do I say to these kids? And I just got a melody. We are the change that we want to see. We can change the world. The change is in me. The answer is in the mirror. And that was like 2009. Started writing the song, and then never heard anything more. You know, I was doing an interview last night, and I was sharing with this guy because he was asking me, why is it that we don't get more songs from you more often? I was explaining to him that there seems to be something with the songs that I get, is that there are times when I will get a song in 5 minutes, but there are times when I will get a song in 7 years or 10 years. And so wrote the first part of the song and never heard anything else. 5 years later, 2014, I got another opportunity to speak at a school's careers day. And I'm speaking, and when I was finished speaking, this young lady walked up to me, and she said, when I was in 6th grade, which was 5 years ago, you came to my school and you said something in a song. And she said, since that day, I never ever expect anyone to solve any problems for me. She said, you said the answer is in the mirror. And she said, I always remember that. And she brought back the song. And so I started writing again. I started hearing more of what is to be written. And then same thing happened. It stopped. And October 2019, one evening, the entire song, everything was just downloaded. We were finished recording the song November 20th, 2019. And then November 20th, we're finished recording the song, and COVID-19 just boom. And then May 2020, boom, George Floyd. No, I must share this with you. In January 2020, I shared the song with my sister-in-law. And the first time she heard the song, she said, this is the video. She said, I just got a download of the video for the song. And I can tell you this, April, everything that happened in 2020 that we saw was what was written on the paper.
Wow.
We saw the world marching, people all over the world, millions of people
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was written. When she gave me the download for the song, it was that the 7 continents were coming together, searching for an answer, and everybody met up on this huge mirror, showing that they were the carriers of the answers, that we, the people, are the carriers of the answer, of the answer. And thus the answer is in the mirror. And so I'm saying yes, we're saying yes, even right now. We made a decision to say yes because we believe that the world needs this song right now.
Yes.
And so we have made some steps, taken some steps, and made some moves, because we believe that it's time. And then the next song you asked about was the Shunammite, which is
my song.
Yes, I might be a little biased. I love the mirror, and I posted it and had people literally say, "Where is this song?" And they were like, "Can I share this?" I remember you kind of sharing a little bit about that when you talked about your purpose song, Rondell. But something about the Shunammite song, tell us about that one.
is this woman who is sitting beside me?
Yay.
I dare to say it's every woman, it's every woman because God made women special. They're extremely special. A Shunammite woman is a Proverbs 31 woman. That woman who takes care of her husband, takes care of herself first, and presents herself as this woman who makes her husband absolutely proud, and he boasts about her. He speaks a lot about her and how she is and what she does. And it's this woman who takes pride in, pride in impacting the lives of others and taking care of others. My wife is someone who serves. I think her greatest strength is that she just serves people, and that's the Shunammite, the woman who took care of the prophet, and just she's a world changer, she's a world changer. Yeah, and she's my wife.
I love that he's lavishing his praise and admiration for his wife. And yes, it says that although her husband is well known in the gates, right, he praises her. But Toya, tell us about how you found out about this song. Yes, because this is the part I love it. Right? Yes, but this part, and you did a whole video. Rondell was sneaky. He was sneaky, but in a good way. So tell us about that, Lotoya.
Sneaky, April. So I knew he was writing a song. I think I heard just like the rhythm of the song, but I wasn't sure. So he was keeping that song a secret from me. And usually I hear his songs and I can comment on it, say, babe, this one, it doesn't sound, you should add this or this. I would comment on it and all of that. But I was not privy to that song, but I didn't take it as anything. So our anniversary was coming up. And he says to me that he has a plan and we could do a photo shoot for our anniversary. So I'm like, okay, yes. So I remember that we went out and I was getting something to wear. And he was like, no, babe, you can get at least 2 different outfits. And I'm like, what? But I took it. I was happy. So I took it. I was good to go. And he was like, you need to put on some makeup and all of that. I'm like, okay. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. So we did all of that. And so we went to this place and we went on a yacht.
Yeah, yacht.
We went on a yacht and it was so good. So I was still there. They were still doing. We were doing the photo shoot. It was our anniversary photo shoot. So I was there, but they had some cameras different from just still cameras and all of that. So I was wondering, why are these cameras here? And he's like, oh, we're just getting some footage for this. And but I was trusting him. I'm like, yes. So we were posing and taking pictures and all of that. And then he was like, and we're going to somewhere else. And so we went to another parish.
Yeah, we went to what's the name of the place? Choco Cove.
Yes,
Choco
it's an
Cove.
adventure tours.
One of Jamaica major adventure tours. Yeah.
Yes, it was really very good. So we were still there and we were still taking pictures and all of that. And April, I did not know anything. And then it was like a couple of days after that, he said, probably like a week or so after that, he says, I have something to show you. And I was in a music video. And I'm like, no way, because he knew if he had said to me, babe, I want you in a music, I would have said no. I would have. Mm-hmm. So he formulated a plan to get me to be in the music video. And I couldn't be mad. I couldn't be mad after that because it was very good. And it was good, April. And I appreciate the song. And I appreciate all that that he did to really get it out and to get me in the song, a song that he wrote for me and other ladies. So I felt very good.
Yeah, Rondell, my brother, you have set the bar high. how do you come from dinner, maybe on the beach, right? One of Jamaica's many beautiful beaches, to a yacht, to hair, makeup, to photo shoot, to being in a video, right? Usually music videos, they're persons who were hired to play this particular woman that the lead, dotes upon, or if it's the woman singing, the male. But he says, no, Rondell says, no, I got my lead, right? I have, and this is my Shunammite. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, Toya, this was, yes, just say yes. Just say yes to purpose. Yes. Yeah.
Ladies that reached out and men also, and they were like, oh my goodness, his wife is in the video, and oh my goodness, and they were like, oh my goodness, I wish that my husband would do this. This is so good, and this is kingdom people really living what you're talking about. This is kingdom love.
Absolutely. And to see it like forever in that video, forever and ever, it will be there. As you said, a testament to the men who also responded, and certainly for your daughters. I have 3 beautiful daughters, and to see their father honor their mother in such a way for the queen that she is, and that it speaks volumes. It's it really goes beyond words, just mere words. But like I said, you both kind of work together. Rondell, Rain is definitely your doppelganger, and looks and spirits. Because you could tell this. There's kind of this balance of each of you individually with each other. Rondell is definitely like coming to the room. Hey, what's up? What's happening? Toya's like, it's nice to meet you. And I'm not saying that to say that one is right and one's wrong. I'm saying it to say that you fit together. Perfect. I mean, like perfectly. Just the way that you are. Even when I met you in Jamaica, and Rondell's going around, and you're like, okay, babe, like, and it's beautiful. He's like, okay, yeah, you're right. But to see you work together. And I think that's something that's important, certainly in marriage relationships, but even in business, because you both also have other persons that you partner with, that have worked with you. You're now influencing government. Talk to us a little bit about how that came about, this government connection with the government of Jamaica.
You want to go ahead?
So we really started out going into schools on our own. Mm-hmm. In 2015, so before we were both teaching, and in 2015 I felt led to actually move full time into ministry and purpose. I think that really came out of a meeting that I had with Dr. Monroe in on the 10th of November 2014, which was the day after he died. You know, yeah, I had an encounter, and it really transformed my life, and really just it shifted me to a place where I could not think like I normally thought. You know, I wrote a song out of that too called "Purpose Calling." You know, and I decided then to go full time. So we started out full time. I mean, Lotoya was still teaching, and so I started out first doing most of the things during the day when I never had a job, and then in 2017, we started going to some schools to do devotions and just to share with the kids about living on purpose and recognizing that if they could meet the understanding of being here on purpose from an early age. Because if I knew what I know now, when I was 12 and 15, the world would be a different place. Trust me, it would be a totally different place. It would have been turned upside down a long time. You know, and so we were doing that, and we didn't know that government was watching what was happening. You know, and so we started connecting with Natasha and Jamar and Sally and Mark, and they started connecting with what we're doing, and we started connecting with what they were doing. But in 2014, when I started studying vision and purpose, I remember hearing clearly that the government of the country is going to call us. And I shared it with the team at the time. We had about 13 or 15 people who were working with us. We were producing some events that we were giving scholarships to students who were going to school. We were carrying barbers into the schools to give kids haircuts and all these things. And so I heard it and I said to them, the government is going to call us. That was 2014. And then 2017, the same day, local government called us. Was the same day central government called us. Got a call from the permanent secretary of the Ministry of National Security that they wanted to meet with me for us to have a discussion about a social intervention program, you know, to talk to de-escalate crime and violence in Jamaica among the youths and among the men who are involved in violence and stuff. And so that was the first one. And so we wrote a program for a national program called I Am Purpose. We did the I Am Purpose school tour where we went into the schools in all the volatile areas. Yes. And then we also did an I Am Purpose men's reasoning where we were able to meet Dr. Dave Burrows came down and was a part of that, where we were able to meet with over 305 of men who are involved in criminal activities in Jamaica and really share with them an understanding of the purpose of not just their purpose, but the purpose of them being Jamaicans. Because, you know, it's a question, and even you may ask that question, April, why is it that people love Jamaica so much? Why are people so interested in Jamaica? You see, God showed me that. I found out that Jamaica is really modern day Israel. You know, the same commitment that was made to Abraham about him being the father of many nations. That commitment was made to Abraham, but Jamaica made that commitment to God that as a nation, we, each individual, will seek to advance the welfare of the whole human race. You know, and that when that was opened up to me, it changed my life. It changed our lives. It changed the lives of our children. It changed the lives of our purpose partners.
Yes.
Because we got an understanding that we really we thought we knew that we didn't live for ourselves. But then we found out that whoa, there's a bigger picture, a much larger picture, you know. And so when I introduce myself everywhere I go, the first thing I say is that I am Jamaican. I am purpose. I'm here on purpose, living purpose, born for purpose. And I've made a decision that I will not die until I fulfill my purpose, which is to advance the welfare of the whole human race.
Yes. And they also say that things are better in Jamaica. Remember that. Jamaican Board of Tourism. Things are better in Jamaica. but you know, Rondell, I believe that's true. You know, as I've traveled, if I've met someone from Jamaica, there is this sense of pride that comes, you know, from one identity, right? So understanding whose you are, and then in what you do in your work, Toy in yourself, a purpose, why you are, right? The who, the why, and then what do you do, right? With the who and the why, what then do you do, and where will you go, and then how will it impact other persons? So to hear that, and I know Dr. Burroughs' testimony as well. He's from Bahamas, and one of the mentees of Dr. Miles Monroe as well. But his story is that, right, making choices that led down a path not so straight, as the roughneck, but to have him, you know, come in to help mentor and encourage and inspire other young men and older men through what you've discovered as part of your purpose, Rondell. And Toya, I know you were somewhere getting it all together.
I was
organizing. See, I knew this. Yes, you're help me fit. But again, you know, going back to what I said earlier, is that as much as he goes out, he needs that. But I will say that I was glad to see some clips of my sister on the microphone as well. I remember we talked about that. She's like, "Oh, you know, I don't know. I was like, no, you're gonna be up there too, because for women and young girls also to hear, right, from your perspective, and your gift, as a woman, as an educator, you're accomplished in your own right, several awards and recognitions from your nation as well as in the education system, but you're also a mother. And so, you know, you have these three beautiful princesses, these queens in the making that look up to you as well. Yes. So it's certainly a blessing to see you working together. Rondell, something that you said too is, you know, you were just doing what you do, right? On purpose, with your own passion, knowing fully that this is what I am here to do, and being consistent. And I know all the times were not rosy, right? They weren't like everything all the time. Meetings happened. People said they were going to do. They showed up. Like, no, that's not the reality. So share with us some moments. You know, we talk about exceptional living and standing out, but there are moments, honestly, right, when you're like, did I say that? Am I on the right path? Like, what do I do in these moments of disappointment or things that are setbacks and you thought you were going to go forward? How does one, to live a life exceptionally and unique by design, how do we work through and end those setbacks?
I think one of my biggest questions was I would ask the question, who encourages the encourager? Because in most times I've thought about it, and I've said, do you know that the people who encourage, most times people don't believe that they need to be encouraged.
Yes.
You know, and sometimes you find yourself in a position where you're on almost zero, but then God gives you this thing that says you have to still be the one to deliver and encourage persons, you know. I mean, we've had some disappointed moments, and the truth is, because we know vision, though, because when you learn vision, you realize that you haven't gotten to the end. Because what if Dr. Monroe said it this way? He says, if what you see is not what you saw, then it's not the end. You know, and so things like those we use to.
Wait, you have to say that again for the audience. You have to say that again. That was powerful.
If what you see or if what you are seeing is not what you saw, then you must know it's not the end, and therefore you can't give up. You know, you have to then find it to rise and come again. You know, and I mean, our vision is activating purpose and transforming nations one life at a time. So for us, if there is still somebody on earth who does not know purpose, we really have to find it as much as disappointing as the moment is. I mean, as we speak now, we got a call yesterday that brought some real disappointing news. You know, that could be impactful on the next generation and stuff. And but we still have to rise and show up, and because that is not what we saw. That is not what we saw. You know, and so I encourage anyone who is watching to realize that he never starts anything unless it is finished. He completes first and then backs up. He completes it, backs up, and then he says, start.
Yes.
So if you are here, it is because there is already a completed work that needs to be finished by you. And a matter of fact, I'll go a little bit deeper. The Bible says that the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. It says, let me quote it correctly. It says, he comes not except but to kill, steal, and destroy. And what it is saying is, if he doesn't see that you possess something that needs killing, stealing, and destroying, then he will not come to you.
Yes.
You know? And so because of what is in you, many of these disappointments are really appointments to test what is in you, the resolve. If you recognize that, a matter of fact, the manufacturer says that there is no temptation that you will find amongst men that is not common, because he says, while I was manufacturing you, I built you with the capabilities to withstand anything that comes your way. It is because I've already tested you, and you can withstand it. So how do we take these, what are the things that are called disappointments? We take them as appointments and we look forward to fulfilling the call that is upon us. You know, sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's tough, but we keep our eyes focused on the prize ahead. Yes. Focus on the prize.
And that's what vision is about, right? Vision coming from the word optica, to come into view.
Yes.
So I love you, says, and this is what God says, right? He says it's already finished. Right? He said it's finished. You're like, what's finished? We hadn't even gotten here yet, but God always sees the end. And then what happens is, it's like we live our lives almost in reverse.
Yes.
Because of the end's already there, but we're here, right? So here's the end. Here we are. So if we're in our end, we have to back up, but not reverses in negative, but reverses in just walking through the process.
Yes.
Walking through what it is, the path that we'll take to get to where he's already established our end, right? And that's in Jeremiah 29. I know the thoughts and plans that he has for us, to give us good, expected end, not the end, but our outcome of our success. And I love something that you shared. You said that disappointments are appointments to test your resolve, right? So it's how you perceive it. How is it that you view the disappointment or the setback? Do you view it as, oh, well, it just wasn't supposed to work, so we'll just throw in the towel, just give up on it? Or is it, okay, this way didn't work,
so let me try.
yeah, there you go. At first, you don't succeed. I think about this in school. They used to say, try again, right? And that's something too with education. I know you're both educators. Is teaching young persons, and there's been some different studies that they're so quick to say, "Oh, it didn't work. I'm a failure. It's a failure."
Mm-hmm.
Stop. But what you just shared with us was no, just that particular way you were going about it was not the best.
Right.
So find something else. So again, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Right? You shared so many things today, but I'd ask the both of you to share maybe 2 or 3 things that have really guided your life. Guided your life to this point in whatever way, just 2 or 3. And I like to hear from both of you. So
Okay.
lady first.
So, there are many things that have guided our lives, but most definitely is our place in God, the purpose for which we have been called, and love. Love for God first, love for each other, and love for the people of God. Those are 3 of the most important things that have helped us so far.
Yeah, I think one of the things that stands out for me, I'll share an experience. So when I was a child, I think I was about 8 years old. My father was at the time he was made redundant from a government work, and he got an opportunity to come to the U.S. and it was to work. It was to work on a cruise ship. And when he got to Miami, he actually failed the medical. There were 13 people who were on that, who went from Jamaica with him. So he was number 14. And of the 14, 13 failed. 1 passed. And of the 14, 13 stayed in the US. 1 came back to Jamaica. And that 1 was my father. And at the time, we didn't understand it. I remember my brothers and I, we were saying, Daddy, you got the gold spoon. You got the gold spoon and you threw it away. But I remember him saying to us, I could not leave 3 boys on their mother alone to raise them. So one of the principles that really guides my life is being a true man, being a real man, to my family, to my nation, to the people of the world, being somebody who understands how really to love people like God loves people, love people more than how I love myself, So that's 1. 2, I'm really guided by purpose. I choose purpose over my wife. I choose purpose over my children. I choose purpose over any and everything. Why? Because the why of a thing is the ultimate reason why that thing is created, and so that's 2. 3, what guides me is what I live by the most is what God, the King himself, says about me. So what you think about me is very, very much not really necessary, because I know what he thinks about me. And so I'm guided by his will and his word concerning me. Yeah.
Yeah. But in all of those things that you shared, the first is understanding who you are, God. That
Yes.
God is love, that God's love for us. Um, love is a noun and a verb.
Yes.
And so in that, because God is love, he loves us, we love others.
Yes.
That Christ came out of his love for others.
Yeah.
And even the decision that your father made, Rondell, in the story you just shared with us, was out of his love for family. And
Yes.
that's got to do. And I've seen you with your family. I've seen you with, how you take care of your family. And even when you said that your purpose was most important, to kind of encapsulate that, because you understand that it's God based and founded, and that seeking him first and his kingdom, and we know this in Matthew 6:33, right? Seek first the kingdom of God and all these, and his righteousness, and then all the things. And we're not calling Toya and the kids things, but what we're saying is all the things that
Yes.
are necessary
Related.
for what you've been purposed for
Yeah.
to come into your life
Absolutely.
will be there, because that's how it works. So there's no worry. So when he says don't take thought of tomorrow,
Yes.
the birds don't worry about what there going to eat, and they don't worry about any of that, because God is our source, our sustainer, Lord. We call him Lord. That because of your purpose, the woman who's with your purpose, the
Yes.
the children for your purpose, the connections, some that you didn't expect, but through other people have been made, because sometimes two people think, well, if I could just call this person and make this happen.
Yeah.
And God's like, that's not the way I want it. And actually, when you look, from a biblical narrative, you really don't see that happen as much as the obedience to God, and then in the ways least expected does the provision come,
Yeah.
Yes.
because of their trust and reliance on God, and their attention and obedience to purpose. Right?
Absolutely.
If you're willing and obedient,
Willing and obedient.
then you eat the good of the land, right? So that means that the land then provides for your sustainability and
Yes.
your maintenance. It's the good of it. So, wow, this has been amazing. Okay, so I know we could go on for a long time, but as we come to a close, um, I'll give you kind of two questions. You can choose whichever one you want to respond to. And that would be, what would the boy, or I should say, what would the man and woman that you are today say to the boy and the girl that you were? What would the man and woman you are today say to the boy and the girl that you were? And then if you have some closing thoughts, but I would love to hear that. What would you say to your younger self?
Go.
Ladies first, Toya. That's what he said.
I would just say to my younger self, don't stop, keep moving, and be purposeful in all you do. Be diligent in your ways. Seek wisdom. Seek
Hmm.
wisdom, godly wisdom. Yes.
I mean, if I had such an opportunity, I would actually be looking back and saying, um, I wish that you know what I know. You know,
Mm,
I wish that you get a glimpse of
mm,
seeing.
mm,
You know, because reality is, back then when I was growing up, I wasn't really interested in being who I am now, or being this impactful. My life back then was just about existing. I was considered a troublemaker because I never had a clue as to why I existed. So I wasted a lot of time.
we can't believe that, Rondell. Toya,
Listen,
can we even think that he was a troublemaker?
listen. I never graduated high school. When I've not shared these parts of my story, but when I look back, I realize I never went to class. I was a bad student up to high school. A matter of fact, I'll tell you what they used to call me. They used to call me Rondell.
Oh my goodness.
I was, yeah. and so I would be saying to this guy, you really need to see what I have seen. You know? But I'm grateful, and I figure that's why mommy pushed me into education. Because what really changed my life, the first thing that changed my life was a teacher. So in Jamaica, we celebrate Teachers' Day. And a teacher, when I was in 10th grade, a teacher, Mrs. Newfield, she said, you are going to be the teacher for the day, for Teachers' Day. So I got the opportunity to dress like a teacher, to sit in the staff room with all the teachers and stuff. And that impacted me. It messed me up.
Wow.
It shifted my life.
What an ironic kind of twist, Rondell, right? For the person who wasn't with perfect attendance in school, you are now an educator.
Yeah.
So that kind of what you ran from, like Jonah, says, no, back it up. This is where you are. And so literally you are teaching, but you're teaching something just beyond mathematics and reading. You're actually teaching life principles and success in life. So we hear your Jonah experience. So we would say, and it's interesting because life always gives us the test first, and the lesson after, right?
Yes.
So we were talking about seeing vision is here, and we're here trying to. It's like reverse, but it's almost like you're gonna live it and learn it, and so you could see all these things come back into play. Any closing thoughts?
I mean, what I want to share is that finally we have taken on a new move, and we're stepping out to create the impact that needs to be created in 2022 and beyond. We're both living the year of divine appointment this year. That's the number that we're working with. That's the number that we are, and so we just want to encourage people, to listen and look out and be a part of, and know that you are the change that you want to see. If America is going to change, it is going to take Americans to change America. If you want anything to change, the first person that has to change is you. Hence, we walk with. You might not have known it, but we have one of our brands. It's talking about the mirror, but it says, "I am the answer." And it's not that April is walking around and saying, "I am the answer." It's basically that the person who reads April's shirt gets a shocker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We are the change that we seek.
Yeah.
And when we look into the mirror, for me, I'll say I see a Shunammite. Go with my sister Toya. But again, Rondell and Toya, I just want to say thank you for being a part of the show today, and I hope that everyone is watching. You can see here how to follow Rondell Positive and Lotoya Richardson Allen on social media. You can also check out the Mirror and the Shunammite videos. Rondell, tell them where they can see it on your YouTube channel, right? Rondell Positive.
Rondell Positive everywhere on social media.
Everywhere on social media. So make sure you check those out and share it and like it and subscribe to it, because that's what we do as family, right? So again, thank you so much for being a part. Thank you for sharing your story, for inspiring us to ignite the greatness that's within each of us. Thank you so much for being a part.
We want to thank you because what you are doing is actually giving a wind to voices and putting faces, allowing people globally to meet others from all over the world. You know, people who are living how some other persons are living,
Yes.
and showing people that they are also living exceptionally. You know, so thank you, and we're delighted to share with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it again. Thank you. And I'm sure this will not be the end of us hearing from either of you, but thank you so much. And thank you for what you shared, because it truly has been impactful on so many levels. And I just want to say to all of those who have been watching this broadcast today, our special guests have been Rondell Positive and Lotoya Allen, right from the beautiful nation of Jamaica. Still, I kept up how you can find them on social media. Make sure you subscribe and like their channel. Make sure you subscribe and like this channel, Exceptional Living with Dr. April Ripley, and we will continue to share insights and tactics, tools to help you live an exceptional life that's unique by design. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time.